The line has grown and grown throughout the morning. I'm actually toward the back of the line, but let's look at just how far this stretches throughout the airport. You can see it just wraps all the way around here.
Jessica, did Fogel say anything on his way in?
No, he did not say a word. He just walked straight into the courtroom. When he was asked what he'd like to say to victims or to the judge, he just kept looking straight ahead.
From this angle, you can see there's a pool beside me, but a ground view doesn't give much perspective. From the sky, a realtor could show how big the pool is, how close it is to the house, and how far back this property stretches. The good news is all of the kids that were on this bus when it wrecked are going to be okay. If you hop on a bus here near 16th and Capitol now, this map shows the area Indigo says you can reach within an hour. This is what that map would look like if the plan goes forward.
I just got off the phone with the fire chief, and he tells me an 18-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 4-month-old were killed in this fire. Look at some of the damage that is left behind here. You can see a few of the bullet holes in this window.
Even this whole box of 6 pills won't do it.
It was a vote to remember for the Pence family. Governor Pence and his wife, Karen Pence, just cast their vote.
You need a code to open up the vaults, and once the key's outside, this light starts flashing to remind first responders to put it back.
And we'll redo the front porch.
This skeleton of a house may not look like much, but Linda Ostwig sees beyond the rundown frame.
The need for women in recovery is huge, especially in our county. There's nowhere to go.
For her, that problem is personal. Her daughter battled addiction for 12 years.
You feel hopeless, and you feel scared, and you don't sleep.
I was just on a path of pure destruction and really ruining everyone in my way.
Sober for 3 years, Kara Cole and her mom decided to turn this donated home into a safe place for Hancock County women to start their recovery.
If I just had a place that people were coming alongside of me and kind of ushering me through the darkness, it would have helped me.
Back here,
Women will stay in the home after being released from jail, rehab, or even off the street if they've been clean for at least a week.
This was her senior picture. She was 18.
Darlene Hatfield says a home like this may have saved her daughter Ashley, who died of an overdose just 2 years ago.
And Ashley could get any drug that she wanted in this county, but she couldn't get any help.
While Janet Decker hopes the home could help her daughter, who still struggles.
You don't want to lose somebody, and I've almost lost someone.
In this home, women will learn how to mend relationships, handle finances, and care for kids. They'll learn who they are and who they can be sober.
I mean, just like this house, the destruction of it, the unfinished of it, that's the women that we're going to get. And when this gets rebuilt and looks beautiful, that's exactly what's going to happen to the women's lives.
The group is hosting a fundraiser in April to raise money and recruit volunteers to come renovate the home. We did talk to a therapist in the Hancock County courts, and she says there is a huge need for a home like this. We have much more information about it on our website, wishtv.com.
300 West is little more than a dusty path in the middle of a cornfield. Not many people drive the gravel road, but on this day, Paige Stroop took a wrong turn.
And I was like, well, I probably should have turned by now.
She says she ended up on this back road.
I gone about 50, 55 on this gravel road.
And from there,
I tried to correct it, and I think I overcorrected it.
it all
Felt like slow motion.
goes black.
911, where's your emergency?
The front of her vehicle caught, and she rolled and then landed all the way up there.
Colton Delhagen says he never takes this road, but on that day, he and his girlfriend and retired EMT Mike Grant each took different routes home.
For some reason, I said, I'm going to turn up and go up 300.
We got up closer and seen debris in the road.
He's stuck in the car and the car's on fire.
As we pulled up, there was fire started coming out of the hood.
Yeah, we could feel the heat 30, 40 feet away from it.
Without saying a word, the strangers knew exactly what to do.
Get her out of the car.
We have to get her out of the car.
Pulled her out through the door.
As soon as we got her out, it started catching fire inside of the vehicle.
It took only a few minutes for firefighters and medics to get there, but those few minutes made all the difference.
If we wouldn't have rolled up, we wouldn't have came by when we did, she wouldn't be here. She would have died during the fire. She would have burnt up.
That's not how Stroop's story ends.
They said I have a severe concussion.
The concussion kept her in the hospital for a few days. She said doctors watched for internal bleeding and tended to her minor cuts, burns, and bruises. It was then her family told her about the strangers she owes her life.
I still just couldn't believe it was real. It's like, that is ridiculous.
We showed her the photos of her smoldering SUV and the fiery wreck that nearly took her life. All moments she's thankful she can't remember.
If they weren't there when they were there, 2 minutes later, I could have been way worse.
Looking back,
You can see exactly where it was. It burnt all the grass and everything.
the men shrug off their new titles.
Not really a hero, just kind of doing a good deed.
You just do what you got to do.
There's no way to ever repay them. There's no way to ever thank them enough.
But that doesn't stop her from trying.
His quick action ultimately resulted in saving another citizen's life.
3 weeks after the crash, Stroop reunited with her heroes for the first time since that day. The Sugar Creek Fire Department presented them with an award for their bravery.
I'm just so glad that you were there.
Family members thanked the heroes for saving Stroop's life and marveled at the odds they'd end up on that gravel road.
It's like I can't even wrap my head around the fact that they came down that road.
Some might call it fate, others could say it was chance, but the people who lived it say it was anything but.
God was looking out for her that day.
I know a lot of people don't believe in that, and I never did, but there's no way that there wasn't something going on.
Firefighters say they also gave Colton's girlfriend Morgan an award. Paige told us one of the few things she remembers is holding Morgan's hand when the ambulance got there. Morgan did not want the spotlight of speaking on camera to us, but we wanted to make sure she got some recognition as well.
Paige is doing better?
She is. She had that concussion, so she's taking it easy right now, but she's doing much better, and she's getting ready to start college in just a couple weeks.
Outstanding.
Corey Farrell,
I've been addicted to heroin for about 5 years now.
Rihanna Cook,
I'm an addict. I'm a heroin addict.
Christopher Williams.
Meth and heroin.
Different ages and different backgrounds, but the stories
Started out in high school on Vicodins.
of how they got here
The pain pills.
all sound the same.
A little bit of pills here and there.
They remember the first time they crossed that line.
The one drug that I said I'd never do ended up being heroin.
2007. That was the first time I got high on heroin.
Like many addicts, one time was all it took.
And once I started using the needle, there was no coming back.
It was just like a snowball, a snowball downhill.
Cook has been in and out of jail since 2013 for using and selling drugs, but heroin has held her captive for nearly a decade.
It takes over completely. You're thinking the way you think. Physically, it takes over. It makes you sick if you don't have it. It makes you crazy if you don't have it.
Cook is mom to 4 kids. Her youngest child visits her occasionally, but she doesn't see her oldest, her 15-year-old daughter.
She thinks that I have chose drugs over her entire life. And that's not the case. It doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate how much I love or care for my kids or want to be there. Something takes over me.
They all range from 13 to 6 years old.
Williams is a parent too. He still can't believe how quickly his life crumbled.
6 months ago, I never had a needle in my arm.
The second time he shot up was almost his last.
All I know is I came to in the back of an ambulance, asked the ambulance driver what happened, and he said, your heart stopped, you were dead, and you were blue.
What goes through your mind when you think about that, the fact that you were dead?
It messes with your head, because I got 3 daughters. How could they go through life without a father? Or knowing the fact that, hey, my dad was a drug addict.
But that fact didn't change a thing.
I still got out and did it again.
You're playing with death every time you shoot up.
Farrell can name 10 friends who heroin has killed.
What's real terrible is if you have a buddy OD, the first thing you want to know is where he got his at.
With a now clear mind behind bars, he relives that desperation that drove him to extremes.
Took an axe and chopped my finger off. You're gonna do what you want. You're not gonna be sick. Yeah, I went straight to the hospital and gave me Dilaudid.
The scar is a constant reminder of the desire that he knows will never go away.
When they say it's very addictive or the feeling of it is like no other, they're not lying. I mean, it will grab a hold of you and keep you in its grips.
They warn heroin's high trumps the fear of death and the loss of those you love.
It's taken my life. my dignity, my family.
It's like co-signing your life over to the devil and not having no control over it.
Inside, they're still powerless. This time with no choice but to stay clean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And nothing but time to wonder what will happen when they get out.
Door 7 going to door 9.
What do you think it'll take for you to quit for good?
I don't know. I really don't.
We are at that Starbucks. We've shown you the video of it collapsing. We were across the street in a neighborhood, but police asked us to leave that neighborhood. They told us it wasn't safe for us to be there in the dark. A lot of the homes have very, very heavy damage. They said there was reports of attempted looting in that neighborhood. They said there was a report of a man with a gun. Police were not able to find that man, but they asked us to come over here by the Starbucks until the sun comes up. But I can tell you the damage over there is very bad. There are trees down on homes. Some homes are collapsed. The roofs have fallen in. I want to show you the damage that we can see over here. You can see the power lines are down. Kylie was just talking about all of the lights that are out throughout Kokomo. Those power lines, the poles are all down. And then if you come over this way, you can see what's left of this Starbucks. It is just incredible to think that there were people inside of this Starbucks at the time. We can see what's left of tables that are crushed under this rubble. We've heard that people were inside the bathroom. You can still see where the bathroom is standing here. They were all huddled inside, and after the tornado came through, they said people came in to help get them out of that rubble. We also know that people were hunkered down in their homes as these tornadoes were moving through. Amazingly, so far we have not heard of any serious injuries, so something to be thankful for there. Indiana State Police say 15 to 20 people had minor injuries, mostly from flying debris. We talked to one man who says he ran and hid in his bathroom. He made it just in time. He said he barely made it before the tornado took down his house.
I could hear the wind starting to pick up, and the power went out, the roof went off. I said to myself, if this is my last moment, make it, don't make it very, very painful or anything like that.
That man says he's okay. He was not hurt, even though his house was just leveled by that storm. He says today he'll be cleaning up and starting to deal with insurance, as will many people here in Kokomo. But back out here live to this Starbucks, we are going to keep looking for more damage throughout the area. As soon as the sun comes up, we'll head back to that neighborhood so we can give you a look at what people are dealing with this morning and just how badly these homes are damaged. Scott and Lauren.